Well, I bought it off a friend who's a builder, and he bought it off a art teacher at a big school.
Uh-huh. And where was he keeping it at the time?
He had it in his dining room.
In his dining room?
Yeah.
And where do you keep it now?
I keep it in my front room.
Oh, do you?
My lounge, yeah.
You're a big enough front room for it?
Yeah.
Well, it is a most fantastic tableau, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a clue in the bottom right-hand corner, right down here. It says W.J. Cole, naturalist and plumier. Yeah. And I think Mr. Cole probably wasn't a taxidermist as such, but he obviously dealt in feathers and therefore had contacts around the world sending him birds with exotic feathers.
Yeah.
And one always wonders whether he perhaps had a catalogue. You know, he was producing large cases, and this was a sort of Rolls-Royce case, because you've got a fantastic array of birds in here, haven't you?
Yeah.
And I should think it's about the 1880s, something like that.
Yeah.
It's an interesting example of really how what was known in the world at the time as well, because we've got very little from Africa.
Yeah.
And in the 1880s, there's South Africa was obviously fully colonized, and Northern Africa was, but there's a great big gap in the middle. At the time, in 1859, Darwin had written his theory, The Origin of the Species. Yeah. And whilst it probably wasn't taught in schools, because it was considered rather revolutionary thought, it's interesting that they have got a finch, and a lot of Darwin's theories on evolution were based on the development of the finch's beak. So one wonders whether Mr. Cole's putting these in really as a hint at Darwinism, which was very much of the day. Yeah. And of course, people today will probably think, well, gosh, you know, it's a pretty horrible thing, this, you know, all these birds have been killed and stuffed and so on. But at the time, this wasn't considered bad taste. And you know, it is a wonderful array of a period piece, really. Do you have any particular favourites in there?
I like the bluebird here.
What is it?
I think it's a blue jay, I think. And I like the little parrot at the back. He's a bit roughed up. But we actually call him Woody after a friend who's losing his hair in the same sort of way.
Is he? Perhaps that's why I like it too, actually. So you bought it relatively recently?
18 months, 2 years ago, something like that.
And what did you pay for it?
£400.
Really? Right. Well, a case like this in this sort of condition today would make probably £3,000 or £4,000 at auction. So quite a nice turn, really.
Yeah.